Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio. All right, so Vintage Radio is from the House of Lattafa. It's from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for $35 to $50 at various discounters. I'm gonna have links down in the description if you decide you wanna check this one out. Presentation on this, first box, pretty straightforward, nothing really to it, typical cardboard box, but it does contain this beautiful cardboard box. Nice thick cardboard on this. It does have this metal gold plate on the front, the name of the fragrance and the fragrance house, and it does have this Zippo style of opening to it where we are presented with our fragrance bottle sitting nice and snug inside. Typical kind of new Lattafa Pride style of bottle is this rectangular shape with this white mat on it, kind of a half circle cap to it with Lattafa logo right there and Lattafa Pride on the reverse side with this, you know, nice metal kind of plaque of this vintage radio sitting on the front there. So overall, bottle presentation, pretty nice. And the atomizer on this sucker, decent atomizer, good long distribution on this, good puffs, will definitely get the job done. So for $35 to $50 presentation, pretty nice. So if you're wondering what Lattafa Pride's vintage radio smells like, you've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are lavender, sage, bergamot, plum, palo santo, black pepper, sandalwood, and amberwood. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. This is a clone of Initio's Paragon, and in the opening you get just absolutely smashed with this beautiful, juicy, sweet, fruity style of plum. Oh, that is the most dominant note when this first opens up. Just an absolutely gorgeous plum note that comes through. As this opens up just a little bit more, the lavender and the sage come forward. The lavender gives this a clean, aromatic feel, and the sage adds a bit of like a hazy, powdery sort of feel, as well as that aromatic touch, mixing with that lavender really well, and gives us a nice, soft, gentle, sort of like sensual, alluring style of scent profile to it. As this opens up a bit more, that Palo Santo and that black pepper come forward a bit. So this does pull this out of like a feminine territory into more of a unisex range. In that opening with that juicy, sensual plum that comes through, with those aromatics, that softness that comes through, it does have a bit of a feminine lean in that initial few minutes of that opening, but that Palo Santo and that black pepper do pull that, kind of rein that back in and make it more of a unisex fragrance. And the Palo Santo in this is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorite fragrance notes is Palo Santo. Nice, fresh, woody profile that goes with it, and just a little bit of a nose tickle that black pepper that infuses in there. It more accentuates those aromatics than anything. It's not an overly peppery style of fragrance, but it does add to that uplifting light sort of feel that goes onto it, and that plum is still riding hard as you get towards the mid. As you get towards the dry down, this does take on a little bit more of a woody profile with that smooth sandalwood that comes through. The amberwood adds a little bit of a warmth to this, but also a dryness as well. So again, it plays really nice with those aromatics. It just has that soft, gentle sort of feel, that smoothness from the sandalwood, and that plum from that opening to the dry down still sticks around, has that fruity, sweet juiciness that's in there from that opening, and just settles down ever so slightly to sit on top of those woods and that powdery, hazy style of texture from those aromatics. So like I said, soft, gentle, sort of alluring, intoxicating scent DNA that goes on with this one, and it is very much a unisex fragrance. So I do think the ladies as well as the gentlemen could enjoy this one. If you're a dude that's into more kind of like bold, masculine, blood of your enemies style of fragrances, this might not be for you necessarily, but definitely think if you're into unisex fragrances, you will enjoy this one. It's just an easy to wear, dumb reach, compliment beast style of fragrance that, again, if you're into that sort of scent profile, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio, I get pretty good performance off this. The projection on this is a very soft, gentle style of projection, but it does produce a pretty nice scent trail and a decent scent bubble for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before it does settle back in. So this doesn't feel like it's like radiating or pulsating off of you necessarily because of those light aromatics, that hazy feel that comes through it, that fruity juiciness as well. It doesn't feel like it's pushing off, but it definitely does push off pretty good, and it does leave that kind of a nice, cozy scent bubble for that first hour and a half, 2 hours before it does settle back in. And in terms of longevity, I get about 6 to 8 hours off of my skin. It does push out a little bit longer when you do get it on clothes. I did smell this the next morning when I did get some on my t-shirt. So you can push the longevity out when you do get it on clothing, but about 6 to 8 hours on average when you do have it on skin. So overall, for performance, for the kind of soft, gentle nature of this fragrance, I think it does perform very well. So overall, not disappointed. So when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio would be most appropriate. I definitely think this is a pretty versatile fragrance. I think everything from kind of mild, moderate to warm temperatures, I think this would do quite well. This definitely has that spring sort of vibe because of that kind of the softness, the gentleness, that fruity nature that's worked in there, and those kind of fresh woody aspects to it. It just kind of lends itself to the springtime, kind of that moderate temperature range. But I do think you could wear this in the summer, just maybe not the blasting heat. This might not do so well in the blasting heat, but you might be able to get away with it. And the fall time when it's a little bit more mild outside, I think you could wear this one and it still would push off fairly well. Cold weather like the winter time, I think this just wouldn't push through the cold as well. It's not aggressive enough to kind of push through those really cold, especially Canadian winters. So I do think springtime is where this is most appropriate, but you can definitely pull it off in the fall and summertime. And in terms of occasions, I think this is probably one of the most versatile fragrances in my collection, to be honest. Casual wear, wearing it to the office, date night, evenings out, and I think you could even dress this up formally. It has that sort of soft, gentle sensuality to it that I think it would just work across all occasions. And it's a very unobtrusive style of fragrance that you're not going to hurt anyone's feelings. You're not going to just blow people out with this fragrance. I think you can just wear this pretty much anywhere, anytime, and it's just going to do fantastic for you. So overall, the where and when on this, a very versatile fragrance, and I do enjoy that about it. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio. Really enjoy this fragrance. I know this one has been getting hyped up for quite some time, and it took me a while to actually get my hands on this. This wasn't easily available in Canada. So when it did become available, I definitely wanted to pick this one up and see what all the hype is about. I don't know if this is necessarily like a must-have in your collection, but the scent profile on this is absolutely beautiful. I really enjoy that plum that comes through. I think the aromatics that are in here work really nice to produce that soft, gentle sort of feel. And like I said, the Palo Santo is always a winning note for me. I do enjoy that. Just the right level of that black pepper that's mixed in with those base woods, the sandalwood and the amberwood. That dry down just has a great balance between that woody profile, that soft aromatic feel, and that sweet fruity juiciness that comes through from that plum. I think it's just a really well put together, like quality style of fragrance, and it just does it for me. Like I said, it is a unisex fragrance, so I think both the ladies and the gentlemen could wear this fragrance, but again, saying it one more time for the gentlemen, this isn't like an overly masculine, bold style of fragrance, so this does have its softer side, if you will. So if you're a strong, confident man and you want to wear something like that, then I think you're definitely going to enjoy this one. Performance on this, not disappointed. I think the versatility on this is another great selling point for me. I just love that I can wear this pretty much anytime, anywhere when it comes to seasons, as well as occasions. It does the trick every single time for me. Compliment Monster, I've worn this to the office a handful of times and lots of people have made comments just how delicious this smells. So for me, this is an absolute winner. Like I said, the hype on this was quite high. I don't think this is a must-have, but for me, I'm really pleased that this is in my collection and might be something you want to check out. That's Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio. And I want to hear from you guys. What's the next Lattafa that I need to do a full review on? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, your different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.